So it was sensitive that if I turn my head around, because then they would use the sound. But this one seems to pick up when we have it there and we turn our head. This seems to be working pretty well. Technology's gotten better.
Julie, microphone, you may have to stand up there.
Maybe a caterpillar. So, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Woodland Chapel this morning. And I just have to say, it's so good to see you this morning, and welcome to those of you who are with us online. I guess that's what we call it now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Online. So welcome all of you. And I'm so glad you're here. I noticed yesterday the traffic on a sunny day. Did any of you experience that? Everyone's like going. It's like a sunny day around here. I'm so glad you're here this morning. And we have our wonderful Cheryl Ostrander, who speaking this morning. I just love her talks. And I never can figure out what it is about her that keeps me so mesmerized, but she's so wonderful, so glad you're here. And Jeff and Dennis and Shannon this morning for our music. So welcome everyone. And
So afterwards, I made the mistake of thinking this was the first Sunday of the month. It's not. There's 5 this month, so we have hospitality downstairs, but it's not the potluck, unfortunately. But come back next week, you can have it then.
Yeah.
So it's every first Sunday of the month we have a potluck, and then on the 15th of the month we also have Soup for the Soul, which is a fundraiser. So join us for both of those. Otherwise, we just have snacks and coffee and stuff downstairs after service.
Because it isn't church without food. So I have a Lutheran friend who says, you don't even know about it. But yeah, we're doing good. But so I did want to say, as well as potluck next week, we have an Easter service. And it's lovely. We don't celebrate traditionally, but we do celebrate because there is something in our souls that need to acknowledge something divine within all of us. So Easter will be not because our fiat, but it is next week, isn't it?
Well,
next
it's
Sunday.
to celebrate the birth of Jesus, which we follow the Christ principle. So it's he was a great messenger for this, a prophet for this teaching. So part of the celebration.
Yeah. So. And this Wednesday, I do believe, Kathy, is Living Intentionally. And I invite you to come. I do make a point. I drive an hour down on Wednesdays to make sure that I go to Lit because it is very, very valuable. And I invite you to come at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8:30. And it's not a class. It's a time to be with each other and discuss what we need to talk about. So Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. And Julie brought up that next weekend is Easter, but we also ask you, wear your Easter bonnet. Just wear a hat. Let's just have some fun, just with our congregation. And there's no prize involved, just for fun. So if you get a chance to do that. And we also have Julie and Cheryl are going to be teaching a class called Shortcuts to a Miracle. Yeah. And it's going to be an 8-week class, and it explores the truth about miracles. And it's on Tuesdays from April 28th through June 16th, and it's from 7 to 9 p.m. And it's $150 fee for the class. And so you can sign up in the library. But this is going to be great. I've seen Cheryl teach great workshops. I've seen Julie in action. So this will be a really fun class.
Yeah, it is. I've done it before, and it's a very profound class, a shortcut to a miracle. So those of you who aren't terribly familiar with all of our teaching, it's a simple and easy way to embrace that. So,
And
all
so
right.
then the last thing is that in the pews on the front of it, there's a lavender colored slip. If you need prayer, just write down what you need to say. You can put your name on it, or you don't have to, because God already knows who you are. So just go ahead, and if you have something that's heavy on your heart and you want prayer, just let us know.
Yeah. And just want to let you know, those of you, Reverend Don is recuperating very well, and hopefully he will be here for Easter. So,
He said he would be.
Yeah.
All
All right.
right, good.
Shall we stand and sing?
Yeah, it's time to sing.
This is Joy in My Life by our very own Jeff Icovino. There's joy in one spirit and joy in one life, much joy in the world, and joy in your life. There's peace in one spirit, there's peace in one life.
this day unfolds, we each know within our hearts that there is only one energy, one spirit, one divine presence that animates all of existence, that everything is God. And knowing this, I know that I am an aspect of God, here to express all the beautiful parts that are God, the good, the love, the light, the life, the joy, the power, and the beauty. All of this is God. And I know that as today unfolds, we hear from Cheryl the words that open up our hearts and our minds to a new way of thinking, a new way of being, a new way to look at our lives with love instead of just hearing that monologue in our heads. We just hear God's voice within us. We know that that is there, and we know that it is always present. And so knowing these things, I am so grateful for everyone that is present today. I'm grateful for the hearts that are now ready to open. I'm grateful for the people that are new to this teaching. I just know that as today unfolds, you will have an aha moment. And for that, I am so grateful. And so knowing all of this, I release my word to the law, knowing that everything is now in the mind of God, ready to open and unfold in perfect divine perfection. So if this resonates with you, please join me in saying, and so it is. Oh yes, our affirmation for the day. I got confused. It's in blue in your program, if you'll say it with me. As I allow my true nature to emerge, I am able to see my purpose, and day by day, dream becomes reality, and so it is.
Good morning, and welcome to the new folks. The place God calls you to is the place where your deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet. Frederick Buechner. You are starting out on a great adventure, a wonderful journey. You are guided by love, inspired by truth, and your future will be what you make it. Our Ernest Holmes. Good morning. I'm Catherine for the new people. The title of today's reading is from the Science of Mind magazine, and it's entitled, Your Heart Knows the Way. As we awaken to the dawning of this new day, let's gather up the common threads of journey into passion and purpose. To love and to be loved. To give and to receive. To be ourselves. To express our unique creativity. To forge a personal relationship with the divine. As we step out into the bright rays of hope, let's remember that the small acts of kindness change lives, that following curiosity can lead to our passion, that loving ourselves magnifies our lives in the world, that co-creation with the divine is possible in every moment. As we stand under a new North Star, let's open the mystery of the liminal space between heaven and earth, where our human emotions meet the spiritual being within. Let's listen when we are unsure. Let's rest when we are weary. Let's serve when we are called. On this last Sunday of the month, there dawns an important truth that we can tuck into our back pockets for the journey ahead. We don't have to be healed, strong, organized to consider our place in the world. We just need to be open, curious, and loving. Our purpose is rooted in our hearts, fueled by tender, infinite, unconditional love of divine source. As Ram Dass famously said, we are all just walking each other home. No need to worry, because we can't get lost. Our hearts know the way. Just remember one thing: love is the road. And as always, we have a bonus affirmation. And if you'd like to repeat after me, you are more than welcome. I am open, curious, and guided by love. I give and receive freely, co-creating with the divine. My heart knows the way. Love is the road. Thank you. Palm Sunday.
It's Palm Sunday. Isn't that what that is? It was awesome. Our special song is by our very own Jeff Icovino. It's called Gonna Take This Call. What's going on here? All I know is that I love it so. In one moment, I knew I belonged. Release my mind. I'm gonna take this call. I hear spirit calling me. I give and receive love now. Hearing this bell of freedom ring. These are the best of my times. Trust in love, a mantra ages old. Release my ego, place it in the drawer. The time is now, ready to make a difference. Awake to the truth.
We'd like to welcome Cheryl Ostrander, our speaker for the day. Cheryl is such an integral part of this center that she runs it, basically. We all run it, but she is just given so much to us and did so many things to keep us alive and vibrant. So give her a warm welcome today. Palm Sunday. Palm Sunday.
Okay. I have this little booster here so I can be seen. I'm so glad nobody promised you I was going to be funny, because it's a lot to live up to. Okay. Now I have to say a word about the title here. Enlightenment for Dummies. To be clear, this title is not intended to say anyone here is a dummy, okay? Nor that there are dummies in the world that we need to enlighten. I'm not going to mention any names, but somebody thought that's what the title meant, and I didn't even think about that. You know, sometimes I'm too clever for my own good. What my purpose was in that, saying that, was to tell people, especially people who have not been around here a lot, that enlightenment is attainable, individual, and it's readily available to all of us. I think that some folks have heard about enlightenment in relation to some Eastern religions that have a lot of tradition that we don't have here. Although we embrace all of those beliefs, and because all paths to any deity that you choose are welcome here. We have a simpler kind of plan here, and if you don't understand something we say, if we use terminology that seems foreign to you, please ask one of us, somebody on the ministry team, or just anybody you see, ask us what we're talking about. Because when I got to these rooms, I heard 5-step treatment, and I wasn't familiar with that, and I thought maybe that meant some rules. And I'll touch a little bit on how that works as I go along, because it really is just our method of prayer, and it's not a rule. It's merely a way that we remind ourselves to point our intention in certain directions while we pray. And any prayer is valid. Mother Teresa was not edited when she prayed. I didn't know her, but I would be willing to bet that her prayers were effective. The For Dummies books that I'm referring to, it was a series of books that came out in the early 90s, and it was intended to have user-friendly terminology for those who were learning computers. Now, a lot of things were in their infancy at that time, and I certainly didn't understand them very well myself. The first one was called DOS for Dummies. Now, you guys probably don't even know what DOS is, but it was the operating system that was used on computers that were not Apple. And, we used things called floppy disks. They weren't floppy. I'll tell you that. But it was and I welcome anybody who's not familiar with that to look that up. That's pretty humorous stuff. Today, if I published a book on computers, before it hit the press, it would be outdated. It would be outdated. So, in preparing for this talk, I decided to take a look at some teachings, and I'm not going to bore you with any of the details I've found, but I did find some interesting things about how Buddhism works, and I won't speak of them too much because I don't know enough to really tell you the truth. I might have to make stuff up so I could fill the time, but you don't want me to do that. I will say that one of the things I learned about the Buddhist path and also Hinduism is that they embrace an absence of desire or suffering. They dissolve confusion and transcend ego. Transcend ego. Well, okay. Ultimate spiritual liberation is one of the things they embrace. Oneness, the ultimate reality of the universe and consciousness, and spiritual development. Now, you may, if you've been around here a while, you'll notice that there are similarities to what we do here. All of those things are true of us. Some of their where I found the differences was that some of them feel that people don't attain enlightenment until they've done certain things. I would tell you with certainty that enlightenment is available the first day you walk in the door. Because as Cheryl mentioned in her prayer, you'll hear things today that might trigger something in you. This philosophy, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, but it's all about you. Whenever I do a workshop, I tell people, this workshop is you. If you choose to take some of the suggestions, use some of the tools we offer, you'll find amazing things in your life. Amazing. Now, that's the only promise I'll make today. One thing I will tell you is that you may hear things that I didn't say, and I love that about talks. I've been to talks where people said, you know, I was doing a talk, and somebody came up to me and said, oh, I loved it when you said, and they hadn't even said it. And to me, that tells me that you don't even have to rely on my words. Something inside of you, the intuition, the God spark, will hear something you need to hear. And that's, for me, that was one of the things that helped me embrace this philosophy. Because I'd been in places where I was told, you know. And I won't say they were wrong. I will only say that didn't work for me. I was told that not to ask questions, just rely on what they told me and what was written somewhere else. We don't do that here. One thing, I have a sticky note here, and I wrote the name Chao Chan on it. Now, Chao Chan was someone who was a young engineer that I worked with in Vandenberg Air Force Base when they were still planning to launch shuttles there, and I had the benefit of working with some really talented people. And one of them was this, and I'm not really sure what his purpose was now that I look back. I just don't remember it. I know he worked very, very well with everyone. But he was a computer guy. And he offered lunchtime instruction on computers. And in those days, apples were apples. They weren't Macintosh. No specific apples were involved. And this one was to tell us things we didn't know about computers, which is everything. And that was the first thing he told us. He said, the first thing you need to know about computers is you know nothing about computers. And what he meant to tell us was they were not something huge that filled a whole room. And before that, that's what we had expected from a computer. This is a self-taught program here. This is a self-taught philosophy. And you will learn things, but it's up to you what you use. So this is not difficult or out of reach. Enlightenment is available to all. And I'm in agreement with all those Eastern religions that it's something that is an uplifting of your consciousness. Other religions talk about a state of bliss, which may sound like something that is mysterious. my take on bliss is whatever stage you find that aha, whatever place you are when you have that spiritual awakening, when that moment comes when something new and life-affirming enters your life. It's not out of reach. It doesn't require a huge amount of effort, but it does require a little bit of attention. Now, I'm busy. Anytime you talk to me, I'll tell you how busy I am. I'm busy cleaning my house or finding excuses for not cleaning my house. Business of the center takes some of my time. Watching dog videos on the web or texting Cheryl to tell her about the dog videos on the web. You know, I keep myself very busy. It wears me out just thinking about it. This isn't hard stuff here. This isn't hard stuff at all. Although we offer tools, you get to choose which ones work for you. We encourage you to read. We encourage you to take classes. Cheryl gave a lovely description of the class that's coming up. I'm learning about it myself. It's one I haven't ever been exposed to before, so I'm sure it's going to be delightful. And I have to read a book, so that's going to be. Reverend Julie's down here looking guilty because she's making me read a book. The author, Julie Rasmussen, tells us that religion is learning about someone else's story. But spirituality is learning about our own. That's what we do here. Besides snacks, you know, but that's what we do here. Enlightenment. It is seen as a destination by some. I view it as a journey. The reading that Catherine did for us talked about that journey, walking each other home. And that, to me, that just makes a real important statement, because community is a big part of what we have here. We get together and we discuss what we think about life, what we think about the philosophy, what's going on in our lives. We point each other to the places that encourage us, that nurture us, that nourish us. Many will agree that we become aligned with spirit in this philosophy. For me, that's a very important part of what I do here. There is a God spark in me, and I'm not the only one. I'm looking out at some faces I haven't seen before. Welcome. Welcome anybody that I haven't met before. But I'm looking at some faces of people that I have known for a while, and someone I've known for a number of years. You are the reason I can stand here with comfort, because I'm not a stand up in front of people kind of gal. You'd have to know a little more about that, you'd have to talk to the senior minister at my former center, because we had a joke. I'm kind of behind the scenes kind of person. And she had asked me to do something that required me talking in front of people. Now, I can talk all day, as long as there's only one or two of you. But for me, it was really a growth experience to talk in front of a whole bunch of people. And it just happened that my job took me to Kentucky a good number of times. And it seemed like every time she asked me to talk, I had to go to Kentucky. I really did. But then after a while, it became a joke. I said, oh, yes, I can't talk, but it's not because I have to go to Kentucky. I just can't talk that day. But we had a lot of fun with that, because And then I came here, and I do a lot more talking. Thank you, Catherine. I do a lot more talking in front of people. And I have to tell you that looking at these familiar faces, I'm energized. Good morning, Kendra. I'm energized because you all are the God spark that I'm looking at. I see the face of God as I look around this room. See, there's 5 steps to the prayer treatment. And the first one is aligning ourselves with God, knowing that we are part of God. Well, excuse me, that's the second step. The first step is embracing the amazing power that is God. And you don't even have to use the word God. God could be spirit, could be love, could be compassion, could be Howard. Anybody who said the Our Father with any group of people might hear someone say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. So Howard is good too. Spirit doesn't care. Spirit doesn't care. The second step is recognizing that God is a part of me. I am part of God. I'm not all of what God is, but all of me is of Spirit. Now, the first step comes first if you're doing it in a formal setting, but in the quiet light of your bedroom or in your kitchen or in your garden, do whatever feels right for you. If somebody complains, tell them I said so. Okay? My maiden name is Prophet, so I have a lot of credentials with that, with that behind me. But really, I say that in jest, but really, God doesn't care. Spirit doesn't care. The universe doesn't care what order you do these things in. We simply have that because embracing what Spirit is and acknowledging that power points us in the right direction for the rest of those steps. And that's the 5-step treatment according to Cheryl. I think other people might agree with that. The next step is talking about what it is we're praying about. And that could be any one of a number of things. And if you come to me for prayer or for me to pray with you, I will pray for whatever you want me to pray for. However, I will encourage you to look for the prayer behind the prayer. Many people who talk to me about prayer say, well, prayer doesn't work. Prayer doesn't work because I wanted that pink Cadillac, and I got a green Subaru. I have a green Subaru, by the way. There is a prayer behind every prayer that you say, and I try to point people in that direction. Because if you're looking for something specific, it might turn out looking slightly different. God is not Santa Claus. Spirit is not Amazon. But Spirit knows some things I don't know. Spirit knows that I might have something better available to me. So I need to be open to that possibility. I need to not close the door to that possibility. I need to recognize that if I don't accept the gift as it shows up, I might miss something very important. I've had some gifts that I didn't like the way they looked, didn't like the wrapping, didn't like what was inside. But when things evolved, when I evolved, is more like it, when I evolved, when I became more comfortable with my genuine self, I realized that those were gifts. Some faiths look at stages and levels of enlightenment. I look at chapters, phases. I don't think that I need to attain any particular level to have enlightenment. Now, Ernest Holmes, one of my favorite quotes from Ernest Holmes is that we are all practitioners, only some of us are licensed. I have heard some amazing truths from people who were very new to this philosophy and people who had studied it for a long time but never chose to become licensed practitioners. I think when we share together, we stand a better chance of seeing the light. I really do. Anything that is life-affirming and loving and compassionate, I'm open to hear about it. I've had some lovely conversations with folks lately because I have set an intention to be compassionate. I was in a short workshop that talked about intention, and everybody was told to choose one word, and mine was compassion. I like the word love, but compassion is a part of love, and love gets used a lot to the point where some of us forget what it means, you know. That's my opinion only. But I chose compassion, and since I chose compassion, and my intention is to show compassion, I've had conversations with strangers. I mean, complete people that I had no reason to talk to. They just happened to be within speaking distance. One of them was the car salesman that sold me my green Subaru, and he's of another faith. He's from a Christian, more a literal Christian background, and he works with young people. And he's real young himself. And I said, good for you, because it's wonderful to see young people reaching out to young people. Now, I've been around the sun a few more times than he has, so I probably will not resonate well with somebody real young. You know, teenagers might say, they might call me ma'am. Ma'am. There's nothing wrong with ma'am, but, you know, really, when did I become ma'am? Oh, man. Another story for another time. There are classes. There are spiritual gatherings. They announced LIT, which I think is just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for us to get together in a real informal environment in the library. And we share. We just share. And I'm gonna embarrass her, but she's never embarrassed by being called out. Kathy over here had this idea about lit, and when she said, "Well, I want to call it lit," and I've heard lit used in other contexts, like involving things that were chemically induced, and like what do you mean by that, Kathy? And it's living intentionally today. And she was so lit up with lit, I didn't try and edit her or try and convince her to do something else. She was real lit up about lit. And, you know, the more I hear people sharing in that discussion group, the more I know we're in the right place. We're in the place to be enlightened by each other. We're not there to fix each other. I'm here to tell you, I had to resign from that type of behavior many, many years ago. I found fixing people didn't help anybody. I will share with you what happened in my life, but not with the intention that you do what I did. Not with that intention at all. I will offer you some insights I may have had if I feel they're life-affirming, and enough about that from me. The ministry team has studied this philosophy, and they know, other people in the ministry team know much more about the details and the quotes and all the working tools than I do. Don't tell anybody, Aaron. Aaron's our sound guy. I always tell him I always tell him secrets that I don't want him to share with anybody. I'm not a minister. So I get away with a lot of stuff around here. I don't have to dress like a grown-up. I'm not wearing high heel shoes. The ministers here wear not Reverend Don. He doesn't wear high heel shoes, but the women who are ministers wear high heel shoes, and I don't have to do that. So don't tell anybody, Aaron. Triumphs, trials and triumphs, insights, aha moments, questions asked and answered. That is enlightenment to me. Yes, there is a foundation for this philosophy. And if you hang around here a while, and if you take some classes, you might learn more about them. I encourage you to learn more about them, because even if you don't find that all of them resonate with you, enough of them will resonate with you to point you in a direction to the things we do that do resonate with you. That was a complicated way of saying we encourage you to learn about this philosophy. Yes, I'm busy doing stuff. I clean my house sometimes. There's business here at church. And I do watch dog videos. And the reason I watch dog videos is because dogs are so much smarter than me. They're so much wiser, and they're so much kinder than I am some of the time. And I tell people that ask me, how do I know that what's going on in my head is Spirit speaking to me and not just my busy mind? And I tell them what I believe about that voice. Spirit's voice is much kinder and more gentle than I could ever be on my own. And my dog, who can't be with us today, has insights that I'll never know. I'm privileged to walk the path that she's walking with her. She's a brave little soul. She's a very wise little animal. And I think that it's no accident that God is dog spelled backwards. Yeah. And Catherine agrees with me. Take the time to nurture yourself. I will encourage you to do that. You don't have to. You don't have to at all. You can do what I did a couple days ago and scroll through your phone, and that might lead you to other kinds of thoughts that are not life-affirming. But do it if you must. You know, I can't stop you. I can't take your phone away from you. Several years ago, I was in a skit, and I can't even remember what it was specifically, but I do remember that there was a word, some kind of spiritual word, or a word that pointed us towards part of our message in that skit. And every time somebody said that word, 3 or 4 altos would go, "Hallelujah." And the rest of the cast that was on stage would look around and say, "Where is that coming from?" Your spiritual awakening might not include angels singing hallelujah. You might not see a burning bush. You might simply feel calmer. Or maybe you'll be all excited about this new aha you've come to. I can't really speak to that. But I do know how it works for me. Sometimes it's really like, wow, right in my face kind of thing. Other times it's real quiet. You know, those aha moments are pretty unique to each individual. Spiritual awakenings are pretty unique. Now, what the word unique is overused. Unique means one of a kind. So think about that. If your enlightenment is looking your dog in the face, good for you, you know. If your aha moment is sitting in a forest and nothing's going on, nothing's going on. The leaves might be rustling. You might be sitting by the creek. All of those things are valid. But I encourage you to learn a little bit about what we do here, because the things we do here are designed and written, and a lot of thought is given to pointing people in a direction. Not telling you what to think, never telling you what to think, but encouraging you, nurturing you. That is our intention. I think I can speak that with a lot of power behind that. Walk beside us. Walk beside us. Your path is your own. I have a friend who talks about her opinion about marriages. It's like a railroad track. Two people in parallel, in sync, but independent of each other in many, many ways. You don't have to share the same perspective on spirituality, but it helps if they are compatible. It does. For me, being in these rooms, seeing these faces, helps me see the face of God. I thank you for listening, and I thank you for being here, and I thank you for being the face of God for me today, because in a world that's sometimes a little bit noisy, you bring quiet to my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. You really drove a lot of deep spiritual ideas home to us. And I love that saying, we are all just trying to walk each other home. This song is called Feeling at Home, and it's by our own Jeff Icovino.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Music is that vibration that goes deep within us and awakens something within us. And I want to just share something if we forgot to announce. There's a card, I've been told it's goldenrod, in front of you, or should be. And if you would like to stay connected, we send out information every week about what's happening here. And we will just put you on the email list, and sure. So, invited to do that. And this purple one is a prayer request form. And I know Cheryl mentioned prayer requests, but we have a box in the library, and it's confidential, and a very powerful prayer team will pray with your intentions. So, okay. All right, this is a time in our service for an offertory, which for me, I always consider that my time, even if I'm not speaking, even if I'm not up here, that I participate in the life of the community in whatever way that I can, and really invite all of you to step forward and volunteer to be part of whatever goes on around here, which we have a lot planned, by the way, for this coming year. And so may I invite our ushers to come forward, and yeah, so I always consider this a very sacred time, for it allows us to feel how much abundance is in our life by how much we are willing to share. And, you know, like Cheryl says, everything's an individual decision, and it has to be from your heart. But as I know that Spirit is my source more, I am more free in sharing Spirit's gifts. And a really interesting thing always happens, and I notice this constantly, what I give out flows back, and we say that, but pay attention, because it does in so many unique ways. So there's an offertory affirmation in your bulletin. Let's say it together. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
You can sing along with this when the words are about a thing. Because everything is gonna be alright. Morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds perched on my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. 3 little birds perched on my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you.
See, now, being a minister, there's a lesson in everything, if not a metaphor. Life is a metaphor once you become a minister. And so we have to be, this would be my talk here, we have to be ready to receive. If we're to receive, and that's true, we'll do a talk on that one day, so thank you so much. And let us just know, as we bless these gifts, we bless the giver, we know that we are each like a divine flow where spirit just nourishes spirit. There is no separateness. There is only spirit supporting spirit. And as we open up to receive and allow that flow to continue, it is an amazing experience. Because there is not one of us that is left out. And so it is. And so let us stand. And now, for those of you here for the first time, in your bulletin, we do this prayer of protection. And so let us say this together. And if the word God isn't good for you, change it. I sometimes go through my books and change words, nouns. And so whatever, as Cheryl said, resonates in your own heart. But this is how it was written. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So we just do our peace song now. Yeah. Churches sing at the end, but it's like going to Catholic churches when you're supposed to stand and kneel. Totally. I know, been there, done that. Valentino.
I just need the lyrics.
Yeah, they are in there.
They are?
We used to memorize.
Your time to shine.
Snacks downstairs. My brother
It almost happened to me.
Shine on.
It's like no one of those weeks. And I apologize. I'm going to be here on Wednesday. I have because I only come down one day a week from Portland. I generally have all these meetings. But have you ever been to that lift?
No.
It's Wednesday at 7. Well, it's not a class. It's just the time together.
Not to speak, but maybe next week.
Well, I was going to say I'll be here, so and I have a 3 o'clock meeting, but I think it'll be over by 5. So if you're around, we can chat, or the week after.
But I have to go pick up my husband from the airport on Wednesday night.
Cool.
I have to be up there at 7, so it's like
Yeah.
I have to leave an hour.
because I love to spend time with you. I'm glad.
Good morning. I like that word. Oh, you lost some stuff in your jacket? Your jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My son got married 2 weeks ago. And I had a beautiful dress. It was my the dress didn't break. And so I was sweating.